and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Caged Review, and this is going to be a review for WWE Raw for 8/19/19. Back to normal wrestling reviews, caught up, everything's on time now. Feel good about that because honestly it was such a pain in the ass catching up with everything. Missed over 2 months worth of wrestling, so that's a lot of shows to catch up and try to review. I did it as fast as I could. Getting back to right now though, Raw, they've been hitting a good streak. I really believe that they've been doing the right thing. So, with that being said, you start off, they do a little Roman Reigns catch-up bit where they're talking about whoever's trying to hurt Roman Reigns. He does a quick promo about it. Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler is the first match. Dolph Ziggler comes out, cuts a quick promo. It was a decent match. Like I said, Roman Reigns, as far as in-ring ability, he can cut a pretty good match. He can keep it entertaining. Sometimes it does get a little bit repetitive, redundant, whatever. And Dolph Ziggler is really great. I think Dolph Ziggler really can sell. And that was one of the cool things about the match, actually, is Dolph Ziggler, he's cutting his promo, he's, should have been me shit, and just instantly, mid-sentence, super kicks Roman Reigns. Gets the cheap shot, and the match is on. Of course, Roman Reigns wins. Dolph Ziggler hasn't done much of anything lately, but it was cool. It was a good start. Then you get a really good Becky Lynch promo after her attack from Sasha Banks last week. When she was talking about her cat and mouse game, and when she catches her, it's going to be over for her, basically. It was cool, though. Then you get to King's Court. King's Court was supposed to have Sasha Banks do her retort. Didn't work out like that. He started talking up the King of the Ring tournament. And then the lights go flickering. The King goes up the ramp toward the main entrance there. And the Fiend is waiting for him. Puts a mandible claw on him. And there you go. So next week, a couple of the matches for the King of the Ring tournament are going to be, I believe it's Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre and The Miz versus Baron Corbin. Which actually kind of makes me sad because that means one of my favorite guys is automatically out because I love Drew McIntyre and Ricochet. But today it was a tag team, Ricochet and The Miz versus Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. It was cool. They definitely had some high-flying moments, of course, with Ricochet. They definitely, showcased that. Don't think it was as good a match as it could have been. Not to say that it was bad. It was definitely entertaining still. At the end of the day, Ricochet and The Miz won, which I was kind of surprised, honestly. But, whatever. Then you get a Booker T promo. It's the same type of Skype shit that they did with Steve Austin the week before, which really does nothing for anything, I'll be honest. It really doesn't. So it was kind of a pointless promo. That was kind of a downside. Then you get Braun Strowman versus AJ Styles with the OC, and this is kind of exactly what I expected. It's the David and Goliath thing with AJ and Braun Strowman. And eventually, Gallows and Anderson get involved. Braun Strowman will get the DQ win. Seth Rollins came down to his rescue, and that escalates into something that we'll talk about here in a few minutes. So, your first King of the Ring match is Samoa Joe versus Cesaro. These are two guys that I really, really like. I really appreciate both of them and their efforts in the ring. They go all out. They're very hard-hitting. And this match was very hard-hitting. It's exactly what you would expect from Cesaro and Samoa Joe. It was two guys looking like they were trying to kill each other. Which was fine. Really good match, I think. It looked like it could have gone either way. At several points in the match, there were pinfalls from both guys. It looked like, maybe they could have done something. In the end, Samoa Joe gets a Coquina clutch. Cesaro has to tap out. Joe moves on. Then you get a 24/7 Elias bit where he's in some sound studio and he's trying to make some music, and Drake is dressed up as someone else, tries to get a roll up, doesn't work, and just winds up getting his ass beat. And that translates into, I don't know, it just goes into an in-ring bit where Elias is saying this is going to be his last live performance. He gets interrupted by R-Truth. R-Truth tries several times to pin Elias, doesn't really get anywhere. Eventually, R-Truth grabs a guitar, swings it at Elias. Elias runs out of the ring. stays 24/7 champion. It was all right. It was okay. The sound studio bit was pretty cool because it's something different. In ring, it was, business as usual. Then you get backstage. Charlie interviews Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio does a really good job of getting super emotional, starts crying legitimately, says it's time to take off his mask and retire. His body just doesn't respond the way it used to, and things just aren't working anymore. His son Dominic comes out, says, you told me that, my first match could be with you, and I want my kids to know that I had the chance to wrestle with my dad, basically. And so they have a hug, and apparently Rey Mysterio is waiting now. But it was a really good segment, honestly. Like, I think that was one of the few times a wrestler really kind of caught you in the feels just by his acting ability. So that was cool. That was good. Then you get the New Day versus the Revival. Match itself was alright. Again, nothing that really stood out, but it was an entertaining match. And this one ends when Randy Orton comes in and hits an RKO on Big E. And so the Revival and Randy Orton start taking care of Xavier Woods and Big E, and then Kofi Kingston, of course, runs down the ring and gets an RKO for his troubles too. So Randy Orton standing tall at the end of the day again. And then you get Sasha Banks. She starts talking about what everybody's been talking about. And then she changes the subject to her hair color. Making it seem like everybody's talking about she changed her hair. And of course, Michael Coley's like, that's not what anybody's talking about. We want to know why you attacked Natalya and Becky Lynch. And she just says, you're welcome, takes the mic off, walks away. After that, you have Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And this was actually pretty good, man. I really did like this one. There were a couple of parts of this that had me really entertained. At the end of the day, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss get the clean win, retain. So nothing bad there. Then you get the second King of the Ring bit, which is Cedric Alexander versus Sami Zayn. And I didn't see Sami Zayn doing anything. For some reason, he's lost every match since he's been back, and this is no exception. He started out strong. He made it look good. But at the end of the day, Cedric Alexander wins. So he moves on in the King of the Ring tournament too. Then you get a Street Profits promo where they're, talking about Rey Mysterio and the King of the Ring and whatever. Then you get a real quick OC promo where you find out that Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman have a tag team title match with the OC later on in the night. And they were saying how it's all unfair. But AJ Styles is your chance to prove something. Then you get a Natalya promo. And Natalya, God bless her, I love her. I'm just not a fan of her promos. And every time I see her do a promo, it kind of backs that up. I just love her, but there's something very cringe about her promos. Sasha Banks comes out while she's talking and beats the holy hell out of her again, kicks her arm into a drawer. Really a good beatdown, and Sasha Banks really coming out the gates hot with his heel shtick. Really like it. I can't wait to see what they do with this, because there's a lot of options right now, especially with Natalya and Becky Lynch. So I think they might work one angle and then work the next, which would be fine with me. And then the last match of the night is Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman versus the OC with AJ Styles in their corner. And so Gallows and Anderson, they got the belts on the line. This is not what I expected at all. Of course, Braun Strowman's going to be the big guy who pushes everybody around. Seth Rollins with the taped ribs. They're going to exploit that injury, and he's going to be the guy they beat up on for a while. He's going to eventually get the hot tag. And so I expected all of that, and it worked out right. What I didn't expect was that they were actually going to give Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman the tag team titles. And that's exactly what happens. Braun Strowman, he hits a power slam. I think it was on Carl Anderson. AJ Styles tries to run into the ring, gets curb stomped for his troubles, and Braun Strowman gets the win. And I thought for sure at the last second, maybe Luke Gallows was going to come in, get the saver or something. No, they actually gave the titles to Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. Seth Rollins is now World Heavyweight Champion, Universal Champion, and half of the Tag Team Raw title champs too. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting because now you've got Braun Strowman who keeps like salivating at the Universal Championship belt. And Seth Rollins said that he knows Braun Strowman wants to, get his hands on that belt, at least have the opportunity. Seth Rollins says he's happy to give it to him. And so now we have this uneasy alliance with the Tag Team Champions. And that's where they leave it off. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really good send-off, man. Because that really, it's like, okay, well, what's going on here? What are they going to do with this? Definitely makes me want to tune in next week. There were some cool things about it. King of the Ring matches, I think, were pretty good. I mean, one of them I knew that Cedric Alexander was going over Sami Zayn, and the other one, honestly, I kind of figured that Samoa Joe was going to go over Cesaro. I even said that on a couple of posts on Twitter. Somebody was saying Cesaro was going to go over. I'm like, dude, there's no way. Just because they haven't really been doing anything with him. At least they've been building up Samoa Joe as an absolute beast half the time. And it's one of those things where it's like, I just felt like I really like both guys. I think they're really strong in the ring. Samoa Joe, a damn good promo guy. And I just felt like they were going with him because they've done more with him. And that was really the only reason. So overall, I mean, I felt like it was pretty strong. It wasn't the strongest. There were, things that was just kind of there. But overall, really, everything had a point. Everything had a purpose. Everything led to something. There were some good matches. I don't know that anything really, really stood out as an amazing match, but they were still all entertaining. So, even like I said, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, I thought they did really well too. So, it was a good night of wrestling, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Felt pretty strongly about it, which is a really good show. And I don't know, man. I hope they keep this wavelength going. I really do. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm at. 7 out of 10. I felt like the only real who gives a shit part was the Booker T promo. There was no point to that. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation, out.